Hi, I'm Buzz, and this is the Key Hour. This is our 53rd episode, and I am the rose between two thorns, I was told.
It's true.
which is really bad because I'm the luckiest guy in the world today. I've got these two beautiful co-hosts today. I've got Julie Schroyer, who has been one of our co-hosts from the very beginning.
That's right.
And
Loving it.
I'm so excited to have you here. And Kara Ryan
I'm the
with
new girl.
IPX 1031, and she's one of our new, going to be ongoing co-host. I mean, she's got the background and everything. She's, she's done so many others, right?
I have.
So
A little bit of experience.
So we're excited. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I actually tripped Justin earlier this morning, pushed him down the stairs so he couldn't be part of the program, so I would just be with these two lovely ladies. And so welcome. Last week, you weren't here last week.
I was not. Fill me in.
Okay, so last week we had your husband,
Yes.
Johnny Schroyer.
Oh,
Johnny
very good.
is part of the local Bayside church.
Bayside business leaders. Yeah.
Bayside, he runs the Bayside business leaders part of the church.
Correct.
And we were talking about an event that we're all going to on Wednesday.
September 3rd.
On Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the 3rd?
Yes, September 3rd.
No, it can't
It's a
be.
Thursday.
Oh,
It's a
Thursday.
Thursday.
I was going to
Yep.
say, okay, so
Yep.
Thursday. And man, I hadn't really been around him that much, Julie. What a great guy.
Thank you for that. And
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I always knew he was a great guy, but I didn't know I would like him as much as I did.
no, that's honest.
Well,
I know a lot of people don't really know Johnny, know Johnny.
No.
So yeah, when you get and sit down with him, you see a different side of Johnny. He's a remarkable man for sure.
What
Yeah.
a great leader to be in the church.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
You should have been here.
I wish I could have.
And matter of fact, maybe you want to come to the thing on Thursday.
I was going to say, am I invited?
Yeah.
it's
What is it?
So it's Thursday, and they're going to have 3 speakers.
Okay.
Ricky O'Neill, who we've had as a guest on the show, is
Right.
talking
Friend of the
about
show.
Yeah, exactly what to say. And those are just statements that can actually help move a sale to the close or help you get where you want to go. It's very interesting.
Oh, I
that
love
topic.
that.
And he's going to
Okay.
do a great job, I know. And then the chief of police for Rockland is going to be talking on leadership simplified. And then Johnny is going to be speaking on the 3 questions you should ask before the end of the year if you're a business leader. So
very
it's
good.
12
Great
to 2.
timing.
And he said that, and I go, so what are the questions? And he
Yeah,
says, you'll have to
You
come
got
and
to
see.
come to the event.
You'll have to come to see.
You have to be
Which
there to
is
find out.
hurtful.
No inside scoop.
Hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to wait, just like the rest of us.
Doors open at 11, and it's
Okay.
at Bayside Church, Granite Bay.
And we get lunch.
And you get lunch, and it ends at 2, and then you can do networking afterwards with a ton of business executives from every aspect of business. So you get the
Wow.
networking event after with Java City Coffee. It's $35, and you
Okay.
just text BIZ to 56316 if you're interested in going. It is selling out fast. I would
And-
get your tickets before Sunday because they're promoting it at all the services, and it does
Makes
sell
sense.
out every single time.
So I said, here's a little clue. Do it and then pay attention. You got to know what you're doing on the computer. I reached out to them yesterday, and
Little
I'm going,
clunky.
damn it, I can't seem to get this to work. So they're helping me personally.
good.
But make sure you get your tickets. Cause
Yeah.
That was just to buy the ticket you were having?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
If
was
you're
just
buying
checking.
a table,
you
it's a little
trying-
clunky. If you're buying a table for
Yeah,
your
I
team,
was buying-
single
got
tickets
it.
are easier, but you're right. Tables is a
Yeah.
little clunky.
So
Okay.
absolutely.
I will definitely. into it.
We'll talk about having you come and be part of it. But
Absolutely.
yeah, what a great guy. Now you're also doing some stuff with the church also.
A little bit. We started a group, Women of Vision, and it's basically a group of women, executive women that meet once a month. The first Tuesday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30, and we have like leaders within the community, like the president of Dutch Brothers, or we had Mario at our last meeting, Mario of Mario's Early Toast, and we just talk about how to have balance as a leader and as a mother, or it's a really
Mhm.
hard transition because you go from this, hard ass person to nurturing mother, and it is a hard role. And so we just talk about that and how to work through it. Yeah, women of vision.
Now,
That's-
when you were here earlier, you had talked a little bit about your faith.
Absolutely.
And you didn't say what church. You don't go to Bayside, do you?
I don't. I go to Lakeside
Okay.
out in Folsom.
Lakeside.
It's a great
instead of
church.
Bay-
Lakeside instead of Bayside. I have been to Bayside. It's a great church. It really is. I have just always been to Lakeside. I've been going for, oh gosh, I won't say how many years, 30 something years.
Oh, that's great.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. I absolutely loved Brad Franklin, who was the pastor who started the church, was phenomenal, and his family is just beautiful. And he has since retired, and they have a new pastor that has come in, and he's great.
Okay.
Absolutely great. Love
Okay,
going
so
every
you
weekend.
should tell her about your program, though.
Oh,
The what did you call it?
Women of Vision.
Women of Vision.
Yep,
Women of Vision. Okay.
Yes. And
Okay,
again,
I like
it's,
it.
it's just the first Tuesday of every month, right at the Bayside Executive Offices.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I come? Can I
Yeah,
join
anyone
even
can
though
come.
I'm not? Okay.
Anyone can come. There's no joining. You just come and show
Oh,
up
good.
and share. And there's typically 25 to 30 women. And we have
Wow.
about 125 members right now just who come and visit. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's fantastic because, like you said, being a mom and trying to work at the same time, it's a
Mhm.
lot.
It's a lot.
It really is. And being a mom never ends,
No.
no matter how
Never.
old they get.
Casey's 30.
So,
Being a dad never ends.
You're
well,
right.
true.
Come on.
You're right.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's give us guys a little bit of credit.
That's true.
But you're right. I was a mama's boy to the moment she passed away.
Oh.
She was, she was everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's true. And my son, as close as I am to Austin and
Mhm.
him and I, and he's here at work today. He works here at the company. As close as I am with him, him and his mom have this special thing.
There's a
And,
bond.
Yeah,
there's
Absolutely.
a bond. My girlfriend and her sons, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter.
I would agree with that. And it doesn't matter how old they get, it's always there.
Now,
That
let
bond.
me ask this. You both obviously had a dad. Were
Mm-hmm.
you closer to your mom or were you closer to your dad as a girl?
Oh, good question. I was closer to my mom, and I
Really?
still am, but my dad and I have something special. It's a different kind of connection. It's, I think moms and daughters have that girl bond that is, you can talk about anything. You can sit down late at night. When I was a teenager, she'd lay on my bed at night and we would just talk for hours and hours and
Really?
hours. So there's a different kind of bond. My dad and I, that's different. Dad would teach me all those things that I needed to know about life, how to take care of my car, how to,
Okay,
in business,
so
I
things
definitely
like
have
that.
to
So it's
say,
different. Yeah, it's a different relationship
Yeah.
between
Oh,
each.
absolutely
Close to both of them. Very, very close. Don't know what I would do without them. They're still with us and in my life every single day. So, and they're close to my kids too, which is huge.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely huge.
yeah.
And I don't know what I would.
Obviously, they're local.
They are.
They
They are.
Okay, what about you, mom or dad?
Definitely dad.
Yeah.
I was a tomboy, so he
Okay.
taught me sports, and I played 3 sports in high school, and he coached me, and my dad was a coach for the San Juan
What
Unified.
sports did you play?
Oh,
This
that's
is I've
really-
never even asked you. I've known you for
Yeah.
I don't know how many decades. I never even asked you. What sports did you play in high school?
So I played basketball, soccer, and volleyball, and then volleyball in college. Yeah.
Really?
I was
Wow.
a total tomboy. I didn't wear a lot of makeup. Yes. I was not.
You didn't wear
I
high
would've-
heels then?
No, I was
Because
a
I
total.
don't know that I've ever seen you without high
I
heels.
know. Nope. I was a tomboy and loved sports. And then also, my water skiing, he helped me with that. I did that in college too. And then snow skiing. So my dad was a big part of my life. Yeah. And I'm still super close
Wow.
to my mom. She was like the nurturer, but my
Mhm.
dad really, really helped me a lot in sports. Yeah.
Now, are they both alive?
Yes.
And
they,
local?
Yep.
See, that's amazing. That's
It's
awesome.
Amazing and a blessing. I mean, they're in Ripon, which is an hour and a half away, but that's close. Central
so
Valley.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. See now, and both your parents still married?
Yes.
They
Still
are.
married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My parents have been married. They just celebrated 51 years.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
That's awesome. So my parents divorced when I was very young. Both remarried. I wasn't as close because it was a kind of a weird thing. There was 3 brothers, and the oldest brother and the youngest, me, we stayed with my mom. The middle brother stayed with my dad. Not because of some agreement, but because the dynamic of the new stepfather and things like that. But so I was never really close to my father because that all happened when I was like going into before first grade, I think.
Oh, so
And
you didn't really have the opportunity to grow up with him.
I didn't really grow up, and immediately upon my mother remarrying, we moved out to West Texas. My stepfather was a coach all my life. And so we moved from school to school to school to eventually to college where he was coaching, and so I followed along with that. But so I never really was that close to my father, and that's why my mother's relationship was so important to me.
For sure.
So it was kind of a weird situation, but yeah, I don't know if I asked my son. I know he's so close to his mother. It might be a toss up for my son.
Well, now that you're saying that, I want to ask my kids because I have a son and a daughter.
I will say
I wanna go
typically
wait.
the son is closer to the mom and the daughter's closer to the dad. That's like typical.
Well, I just want to
I
know
think
if they
that
think
is-
we're close.
I think that's psychological something.
Yeah, there's something.
There's studies
Yes.
that are out there, but yeah, daddy's little girl.
Yep.
Yeah, it wouldn't have done for me to have a girl. Oh my God. Talk about, as much as I spoiled my son, it would be horrible if I had a daughter.
I could only imagine.
Yeah. So speaking of, faith and all of those kind of things. So we recently, just this week, Dolly Parton, passed away.
I think I'm still in shock. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and she was 80 years old, but did you ever think of her as being aged?
Oh gosh, no. She never changed in age.
Right. That was something I was
Never.
talking to someone the other day, or just yesterday, and because they said, "Can you believe she was 80?" And I was thinking, to me, from a young age, seeing her on television to even recently, it's like, no, she never seemed to age.
She never changed.
She was just a beautiful lady, and it seems that there's been an outcry. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people mourning her death.
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you think? What is the key thing about Dolly that you think she captured everybody?
Well, I think for me, I would say so far what I have seen, nobody has a single bad thing to say about her. She is just such a classy woman that everything that I'm seeing is so positive. It wasn't, oh, poor Dolly, but this happened or that happened. It is always positive.
I think her biggest impact is that she was who she was, even though she wore a lot of makeup, big wigs, very out there. She owned it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was proud of it. And I think she represents a lot of people that's like, be yourself. And if people judge you but don't really know you, it doesn't matter. And I think that message resonates with everybody. So you see people so hurt by, God, someone so authentic and so amazing and such a great example is gone. And it's been, I wore my pink for her today. I'm supposed to wear pink.
Yes, we coordinated
I
a little
know,
bit.
I didn't. I have
What the hell is
pink
wrong with you?
bracelets. Sorry. Shoot.
But yeah,
I'm
so
kicked off.
impactful on so many people, I think. And just her
What-
writing and how she touched so many people with her songs. I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston, just,
Well, it's amazing how many songs out there that she wrote that for other people that became huge songs. Like most of us probably didn't pay attention that, I Will Always Love You was her song first.
right.
That she wrote it. And then Whitney came out and just blew it
Blew
up.
it up.
And a lot of people, when they found out later, oh, well, Dolly wrote that. And it's like, what? How could
Yeah.
Dolly write that? But there is a lot of songs out there that other famous artists have done and made them tremendously famous that she was the writer,
Yeah.
which is
true.
amazing.
Did-
What amazes me, and this touches on what you said, is that, you know, it doesn't matter who. You know, Mother Teresa could pass away, and there'd be some people on one side going, "Well, she wasn't that great. She did, you know," and then there'd be others that, "Oh, she was the best thing," and you don't see that with
You
Dolly.
don't
You
at
don't
all.
see any side going, "Well, I'm glad," and you know, she wasn't that great. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
everybody is
yeah.
affected by this
Yeah.
Mhm.
and can't believe it because she was such a wonderful woman. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know her personally, but
But you felt like you
but
did.
I felt like I did, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and her nonprofit is Imagination Library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where she sends books to
Is it-
kids, and I
yeah.
mean, like, it's huge across the country.
Yeah, there's a chapter here, and up in Placerville. I think I was listening to KFBK.
Okay.
You know, it was wall to wall. You know, Dolly
Yeah.
stories either yesterday or the day before, and you know, millions and millions of getting millions of books into the hands of children and that type of stuff. One of the things that I think really made everyone respect her so much, and I wish that other artists and stars were like this, where there was a interview and they kept digging, trying to get her to say something
Oh.
bad about.
Yes,
I
I
don't
know what you're
remember
gonna.
who it
I
was,
know what you're gonna say.
either Bush or
It was political, right?
it was
They
a
were
political,
asking
and they were,
questions.
you know, yeah, but this guy did such, and she goes, you know, I'm an artist.
Yep.
And I learned a long time ago that you don't talk bad about people, and she just
Well,
kept
and
coming
she
back
was-
to that of like, I entertain.
Yeah.
Why
and
would
she
you?
was honest. She said, "I have my own opinions.
Yeah.
but I don't need to put it out there."
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's none of everybody's
Yeah,
business.
That's not her
and
world.
I'm
She's
an
an
entertainment.
entertainer. Exactly.
And I think that's one of the problems with entertainment today is that, you know, these people, we let them into our lives.
Yes.
Whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever, we go to them to escape, you know, the day-to-day life. We go to them to see something that makes us fall in love, or something that inspires us, or something that makes us laugh, or something that makes us scared. We go to them not for them to then use that to bash one
Yeah.
side or the other.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't like
using
that.
that platform to reach as many people as they can, to give their opinion,
Yeah.
to pick a side.
So that happened this week with someone else. Do you know who it is?
Was it Country Star?
Yep.
Jelly Roll.
Yep.
Yes. And again,
Mm-hmm.
you know, leans towards mostly country.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's out there actually going against, I would say that probably in the country music industry, you got to be at least 85, maybe even 90% conservative,
Mhm.
Christian values and that type of stuff. Now, I didn't see what he said. I just heard a lot of the backlash, and it's like, dude, what side of the toast is your bread buttered? Why would you consciously try to be that type of person?
Yeah, and it was a perfect example of what Dolly was talking about when
Yeah.
you take sides. And really interesting that he took that side, because you're right. His audience is, I would assume, mostly conservative. And I
Oh,
was like, oh my
absolutely.
goodness, what are we doing here? Yeah.
Think of how many rednecks he disappointed. I mean, because a lot of his songs were really,
No, 100%. Yes.
gritty.
Yep.
And it's like, why would you do that?
Mhm.
And that happened to, what was it, the Dixie Chicks
Same thing.
years ago, where
That's right.
they were on stage.
You're probably
and started,
too young to know, but
Yeah.
Oh,
we
thank
will tell you.
Thank
They
you for
were
saying
the
that.
This was-
premier
This
artists.
was in the 90s.
Yes.
when you were in junior high.
Yeah.
They won like Entertainer of the Year 4 times or something like.
Yeah.
They were like the top, the pinnacle country. And then she made a statement about Who was the president? Bush?
Maybe Bush won.
I think it was Bush.
What
one of
year?
them.
This was years ago.
Years ago. And man, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it was,
Oh.
Radio stations dropped them.
yeah. It was
You know,
brutal.
their sales, I mean, they never recovered.
No.
I mean, when was the last time you ran into the Dixie Chicks, except maybe at some, you know.
Which was really sad. They were amazing artists. And so their musicianship, they were amazing. And it's just
I liked them up until that point. And it's like, yeah, I don't really need that. I came here to listen to beautiful music.
yeah.
You know, I'm here to have a good time, not. So, yeah, it's just amazing that he would do that on a week where everybody was pointing out how great Dolly was
For not doing it.
for not doing things like
Yes.
that. And so, I wonder where the managers are of these people and the record labels and you know that they don't have someone behind them with a little fork that what was that?
yeah.
Nothing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
I didn't think about
well,
that.
no,
know.
I'm not saying they're making them say that. I'm saying, where is that manager that goes, are you an idiot?
Right.
You just, you know, you probably just dropped your sales by, I don't know, 30%, 40%, 50%. You know, if maybe he's so rich he doesn't need it, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think as an entertainer, you have to really think about who your audience is and who are you trying to reach? Are you trying to limit your audience?
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the reason that people do stuff like that?
That's funny. As you're saying
I
that,
don't
I
even
don't
know what he actually said, to tell you
I
the
don't
truth.
know exactly what
It
he
was,
said either.
I think it was on the Jimmy Kimmel show, right? It was more like comedy. So it wasn't, that's what I saw anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like direct, but it was like in a comedy setting, but it
Okay.
was like hurtful and it was not great.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. Yeah. So
You know, it's hard to walk that fine line of having your own opinion, but who do you share it with? I mean, I have no problem talking about my faith. That I will never hide. Do I want to talk about politics and all of those deep questions on do I like this or that? No, I don't want to. I have my opinion, but
I
not
agree.
necessary
That
to
is
share
That
it.
is a fine line.
But besides my faith, I mean, I have no problem talking about my faith. So,
Well, and I think that here's where I come from is that if I'm just an individual representing me,
I
I'm
see what you're saying.
I'm out with friends.
That's different.
I'm at I don't have any responsibilities to anything. I feel like if you want to share your opinion, great.
Yes.
Now, beating someone over the head about your feelings is wrong, but then you have to remember responsibilities. In other words, on this show, I'm Buzz, but I'm also representing my company, Big Valley Mortgage, and the greater industry.
Correct.
And so, I would feel responsible for anything that I say. So, and it would reflect badly, regardless. So, doing something that's polarizing, you got to stay away from. If I'm an entertainer, there's a whole bunch of people that rely on me. I have a whole, I have a whole group of people, and my audience and my future audience. I have a responsibility to protect that.
I agree with that. And I love that you're saying that because I used to teach my kids that all the time. I would say, you can go out and live your life and do what you want. However, you're representing our family and what you do reflects on us. So you always have to think about that. And the same with business too. Yeah, I'm with IPX 1031 and I want people to know that that is a fabulous company. Why would I do something personally that's going to damage that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have that responsibility.
You feel the same, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be careful too, because I represent Placer Title, and people look at what I do or where I'm at and make a judgment on me, and I'm representing that company. So we do have to be careful, and it's hard today with social media because I want to post some things, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe not. Because, you're right. You have to tie yourself with Big Valley Mortgage, IPX 1031 and Placer Title. That's a big deal. People got to think about that.
And I think it's a choice that we make too.
Yeah.
I chose to be part of this company and to represent this company. So that was my decision. So it's my responsibility then on how I act and how I portray that company and myself.
Yeah, I think that so many people get lost in their own ego. Is that the word?
Yes.
I would agree.
I
Yeah.
think they get lost in their own ego that then they allow that to be more important than all of their responsibilities. And I think that that's a true that shows true character. In other words, if you allow your ego to override all of the other responsibilities that you have to whatever it is, family,
Yeah.
to your faith in God, to the company that you represent, to the community that you represent. If you allow your ego, that is a true indicator of character
100%.
or lack of character.
Lack of character.
And so that and we talked a little bit with Johnny last week about there's a lot of just really evil stuff going on out there, and it just weird stuff. And we talked a little bit before the show with the lady that her children had died, and just so these choices that people are making. I think that their egos have overshadowed everything else in there.
Well, and you made a good point earlier when we were talking. You said that there is evil everywhere, everywhere, and it's not hidden anymore. It's out there.
It's out there.
And
in
so
the
you
open.
have to make that conscious decision every day to say, stay away, and we don't want that evil near us. And you actually have to think that every single day and make sure you're in the light.
I agree, because I think it's kind of become the norm. Like evil decisions, evil whatever. It's kind of the norm now. And so you're right. We have to make a conscious decision. It's like, I'm not going to be part of that, right? Because it is out there.
Well,
it's everywhere.
We were talking about how you said you don't like watching the news because it's all negative. It's all negative, and it's so hard.
Probably one of the worst things that ever happened was the 24-hour cable news cycle that because they have to have something. And if you ever watch, and like the Dolly issue, I bet on cable news, they have these hour-long programs. I can't think of anybody's names, but 1 hour-long program, then another hour-long program, then another. So they have to repeat the same stories over and over. And it's just out there. So let's move away from the doom
the
scroll.
Bad. Oh, God.
Yes, let's pivot.
Let's turn it. Let's make it
pivot away.
positive.
So you talk. We've been talking about we represent our companies, and you're with IPX 1031.
Yes, I am.
Just real quick, you've explained this before, but just real quick for the audience, what is a 1031 tax exchange?
Oh, good question. So when you're doing an exchange, that means you're selling an investment property, any property that you have that's been held for trade, business, or investment. You're selling that property, you're going to have capital gains taxes. If you use a qualified intermediary, which is what I do, you can defer all of those taxes, and you actually get to keep your money and put it into the next property that you're buying.
So this 1031 is a tax code that allows you to roll that money into the next investment without having to go ahead and pay the capital gains.
Yes, you've got a lot of taxes that you're going to be hit on. Federal capital gains, depreciation recapture, you've got state tax, you have net investment income tax. There's a lot. Here just in California, it's probably 35 to 40% is what you'll be paying on capital gains. So when you're selling that investment property, you absolutely want to look at the 1031 exchange.
So if I move out of the country, so let's say I retire and I move out of the country, and then I sell one of my investment properties, how do they catch me and make me pay taxes?
Good question.
Okay, that's a good question. So I actually had something similar yesterday. Somebody said, well, how do they know that I'm living there or not? Let me be clear and say I am not the IRS. I do not know how they are tracking you. That is not my job. But I will say that each year that you are filing your taxes, they know what you have done and they're keeping track of it.
Kind of like Santa
So-
Claus.
Kinda, yeah, exactly. They know. They're
Except
always
he's
watching.
angry.
Yeah, he's very angry. I have a question for you because I know this is interesting. They're not regulated, correct?
Yeah, the exchange industry is not regulated.
Which is interesting because they're having so much capital going through. So that's why I want you to talk about why to use IPX 1031 because
Good question.
Yeah.
So first, let me say IPX 1031 is the nation's largest qualified intermediary for 1031 exchanges. So we have the most experience, the most expertise, and we also have the highest level of security for their funds. And that's the biggest thing. So I'm sure everybody has heard of other QIs that, you give them your money and then when you're ready to make that purchase, your money's gone. Maybe
yes,
they've
it was on 48 Hours. Actually, they did a whole segment on one of those. And the guy made a ton of money. Yes, and
So
took
it does
all their
happen.
money. Yes,
And moved out of the country.
yes,
Right?
I'm
Right,
telling you,
that's-
yeah,
So
it
how
did
do
it.
I get- How do I get this job?
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's telling me like you need to make sure when you choose an exchange company.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's just it. So we have the highest measure of security for your funds out of any QI out there. So we not only have a $100 million fidelity bond, we have $50 million in performance guarantee, $30 million in E&O. So we are definitely covering your funds. We have all segregated accounts. We are not commingling funds at all. And we're putting it into an account that is liquid, that you're going to be able to get your funds when you're ready to make that purchase, which is huge because no, I'm not going to buy a boat with your money. I'm not.
Boats are okay.
They're okay. I'm good with a boat.
I mean, yeah, me too. We'll go boating.
I will make sure that your funds are there.
Now, you had asked a fun question. And we talked before the show trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to talk about? And you had asked her, or you had said something about working with realtors to help them with listing. What was the question?
So as we go into this fourth quarter, the market is shrinking for real estate agents, and we need to be creative and create ways
Absolutely.
to get listings and do deals. And I know there's vehicles in the 1031 exchange that they could leverage to get more listings. I'd love for you to talk about
Absolutely.
that.
So there's a couple different ways. So if you think about somebody has a rental property, let's talk about California in particular. A lot of people have left California or are leaving California. So maybe they've moved to Tennessee, maybe they've moved to Florida and they're living there now, but they still have rental properties here in California. So the greatest thing you can do as a realtor is contact those owners and say, hey, I know you've got property here in California. You probably didn't want to sell because you thought you had to pay those taxes, but I can help you sell these properties here in California. You could potentially buy something wherever you are in Tennessee, Florida, whatever it might be, so that you're closer to home. You're managing those properties down the street versus from across the country. So a realtor should get in touch with their title rep.
Yes, because we can pull owners that have multiple properties. We can pull that,
Absolutely.
and investors. And that's a great niche right now. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you, especially with all the litigation and problems we're having. We've talked about that before. As a landlord, I mean, they're putting new things like the balcony. You have to get your balcony.
Yep.
I mean, on and on and on. And I think that landlords are looking at, should I just deplete all my inventory? So that is a gold mine
But
right
we
now.
have so many investors that are just sitting on their property because
Yep.
they don't want to pay the taxes.
Mhm.
So we need the realtors to really explain, hey, I can help you sell this property and defer your taxes. And by no means do we expect the realtors to be the experts in 1031 exchange. That's my job. That's my business partner's job. That's our company's job. So we will handle that for you. But as a realtor, you need to let them know, hey, I've got somebody that you can talk to. Give them my phone number, give them my email, and I'm happy to talk them through the process and explain all of the taxes that they could be paying and that they can now defer. So that's huge. The other one is we have landowners. Somebody might own land and they're not making any money on it.
Mhm.
Maybe they've just been holding it for appreciation and now it's, a great value, but what are they getting from it? So we need all of those agents to look at the landowners and say, okay, do you want this land? How about we sell it and we put you into something that's going to get you some more cash flow? So
Yeah.
again, talk to your title rep and find out, all of those owners of land here in, whether it's Placer County, Sacramento County, whatever it might be, and get those addresses, those names, contact those owners and see if they want to sell. I think with 1031 exchanges, we have so many listings that can be sold that people don't know about, that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise without the 1031 exchange opportunity. So it's good for agents to realize.
I find that a lot of people don't even know what it is.
That's true. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Well, I think when you say 1031 exchange and tax deferral, I think people kind of freak out. They go, "Oh, taxes, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with it. It sounds complicated." Let me be clear and say it is very simple.
Yeah.
You're still just selling one property and buying another. The whole point is that you, as the exchanger or as the taxpayer, that we don't want you to touch the funds. So that's why you're hiring us as your qualified intermediary to hold your funds for you. Nothing about the transaction changes. You're still selling one property and buying another, but we're holding the funds for you. And by doing that, the IRS says you can defer your taxes.
So this goes back years ago to the mid 80s. I was part of a group. It was called the Sacramento Real Estate Exchange.
Okay.
And it was a group of just huge investors that they were doing exchanges. Now, in this context, the exchange was, let's say that Julie has a strip mall, on the corner, some street, and she's reached the end of her depreciation schedules, all of that. And so she wants to take and buy maybe, and I'm just making this up now, these 14 homes, single family homes that somebody else has.
Yep.
And so they just exchange them. And it was all done through intermediaries like yourself, because so that there wasn't any tax, burden. And a lot of times there was, what was really fun about it was there really wasn't a lot of money exchanged because, there might be a daisy chain of 5 or 6 owners. And the first, and this is a little known fact, because I'm a big boater. Everybody knows me because I boat here in Sacramento and have always been part of the boating scene. My first boat that's how I earned that first boat, was I helped put this exchange together. And so one of the people owned a really nice boat on the river. And I say really nice. It wasn't that nice, but they had a big boat on the river, and it was like, okay, you can take this and you get this, and I'll take these 3 things. And
you're just swapping.
And they were going, and they didn't really want to pay cash for the person helping them put it together. And one of the guys says, "Well, I have this boat on the river."
So they gave you a boat?
Yeah, he said, "So instead of paying you a commission, I'll just give you the title to the boat." And so
that's where it all started.
That afternoon, I jumped in my car and ran down to the marina where it was, and I was looking at it, and I went to the payphone back then, and I said, "Absolutely, I'll take the boat." And so all of a sudden, I was a boat owner.
Okay.
And that was my first boat. But it was because of an exchange. Exchanges work.
Well, and I think you made a good point that that's definitely possible. If you and I we each have a property, we can swap those properties in an exchange. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The hard part is finding that property that is the same value.
And that's why sometimes it has to be, I'll give you this and this and this for your that.
Yes, exactly. So did you know that's where, when you're doing an exchange, if you don't reinvest the full amount, so say I'm selling a home for $1 million and I purchase a home for $800,000. So I've got the $200,000 left over in that exchange account. That's called boot if I don't reinvest that. But do you know where that saying came from?
The boot.
I just heard where that came from. Darn it.
It's got to be something, you got something hidden in your boot.
Yeah.
You're playing cards and you got a card in your boot?
When they used to do exchanges back in the day, and they would say, okay, we'll swap properties. But mine, might not be, one might be a little less than the other one. So they'll say, okay, well, I'll take your house and your cattle to boot.
Oh,
So it's that extra.
It's that extra.
So are
To
you
make up
taxed
the
on
difference.
the 200,000 then?
Yes, you are. If you
Okay.
don't reinvest, the
Okay.
boot. The boot is what's left over. You'll be taxed on that.
Huh.
So that's another
Interesting.
good point, is that we want to make sure that everybody does reinvest the full amount. We always say buy for equal or greater value to what you're selling for.
Okay.
You're selling for $1 million, buy for $1 million or more, whatever that number might be. But
Does it have anything to do with, but because let's say I own $1 million property, right?
Yep.
And I'm getting ready to sell it,
Mhm.
but I bought it for $1 million and I'm selling it for $1 million. So
Well,
the taxable, whatever liability is very small, and I'm buying this. I mean,
Yeah.
So,
So
is
in
it?
some cases, you might not need to do an exchange. Again, a
Well,
great
that's-
example
that's true.
yesterday.
That's
Somebody
true.
just
Yeah,
told me, they said, I just inherited this property. Well, when you inherit a property, you get the value of that property on the day of the passing
Yes.
of that person.
Not
not
when
what they
their-
bought it. Yeah.
yeah.
So grandma buys a property, however many years ago for $100,000, and now it's worth $1 million. You're not getting it at the $100,000 value. You're getting it at the $1 million on the day of her passing.
So when you sell it, the taxable liability is different from a capital
correct.
gains.
So this gentleman yesterday, he
That's good.
just
That's a pro tip.
yeah.
That is a pro tip. I didn't not know that.
Yeah. This gentleman yesterday, he inherited a property, even he said 2 years ago, but it hasn't really appreciated. Nothing has really been done to it. So about the same value.
Wow.
So there would be no point for him to do an exchange because there's no gain on it.
Yeah.
It's
No
just
need
like
for
he's
it.
selling. Yeah, no need for
There's
it.
no need.
And I think that's really important for people to know, is that I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, you don't need to do an exchange.
Yeah.
So
Or your
that's why
taxes
you
are
need
going to
to
be so slight that it's
yeah.
why.
So
why
you want to
worry?
definitely make sure you call me first. Let's talk about it and let's see what your tax implications are going to be to see if it makes sense.
Now, going back to our title and escrow pro.
Yes.
How long have you been in the title and
Oh
escrow
my
business?
goodness. Over 30 years. Started in 1996. Can you believe that?
I can, and I stole you.
You did steal me.
I stole you
worked-
for a while.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
So
really?
actually, I had the great pleasure. We worked together for a while. She worked here at Big Valley, and then after that experience, she left and said, "I'll never be in a mortgage."
That's not true.
Again.
I loved our time together because I learned so much and met so many people throughout all Northern California because he had me place loan officers in real estate brokerages. So a loan
so
officer for
smart.
Keller
Yeah.
and
Remax
Berkshire Hathaway and
and-
Remax. And yeah, so I got to meet all the leadership of all the
very
companies.
good.
So I will tell you this one funny story.
Oh, no.
We did this tour all the way down to Fresno and back
Yes.
one day.
Okay.
And we started and we went to Fresno. Then we made our way back up the valley, going to all these different events. And it used to be, she is legendary
Yes, she
for
is.
being able to, it was
For
like,
many reasons.
we would see on the on the internet that, well, she was at this party, this.
Oh, yes.
How does she do that? Well, so I've realized how she does it because I was driving. So we would go to all these little events, and then we get back in the car, and I'd hardly be on the freeway, and I'd look over, and this is her.
That's right. Did you take a picture of me? I think you
Oh
did.
my God.
Yeah, I think you
I
did.
know that I have it.
Yeah.
And we used to have so much fun. We were up in Reno and coming back, and there was this huge snowstorm. And she used to do Friday Fun Facts. Now
Yes.
you do Fab Over 50.
Yeah, but I'm doing
and
Friday Fun Facts again.
I
just
saw
started.
just
Yes.
on Friday. You
Yes.
have to watch
Okay,
her. But
all right.
Everybody, Friday Fun Facts.
There's one coming this afternoon.
There's one coming this afternoon, I'm sure. But so her and I were coming back from Reno in a driving snowstorm.
Oh gosh.
And we're doing this and it's Friday, and she goes, "Oh my God, I got to do a Friday Fun Fact." And so we were at
Blue Canyon.
Oh my
and
goodness.
she said, "Stop the car, let's get out in the snow and let's do this." So we
You did it.
we get out and we're right next to the freeway and the trucks are going by and snow is
Flying past
and
you.
we're-
Buzz, you're a trooper. I got to tell you.
trying- Yeah, she's going, no, that wasn't it. And I'm
Do it
going,
again.
oh, for
Do it
God's
again.
sakes. And I don't think you ever posted.
I didn't. I don't think
we need
got,
to see that.
No, we did get
we
it.
have it?
It
I
was
don't
so
know.
bad.
It was so
Oh,
bad.
the
There was
sound.
sound.
But
and
A for effort, Buzz.
Do you
well,
have a blooper reel? Maybe
any-
that should
we
show
should've-
up somewhere.
We should have
we
posted
should've,
it anyway.
and that's why we keep saying on this.
Yeah.
We want our engineer.
Yeah.
You know, Jocelyn. She's amazing
Yes.
back there. We want
She's-
her to leave the camera rolling because anyway. So I was going to go back. So you're the escrow pro. I asked this question because this is something, and I kind of made a joke about it. So I've moved out of the country. I retired and I kid everybody around the office that I'm buying a villa in Bali. So let's say that I'm selling one of my houses. You can see my address is in Bali. It's where you're going to send me the check. Isn't there something that happens that kicks in? An escrow officer is required by the IRS if you're getting ready to send me a
Yes.
check in a international address.
Yes.
There's something that happens. Tell
There
me what
is
happens.
I don't know the exact document, but there's documentation that tracks all of that. So we are, we're the neutral third party in the transaction. So we can't be like, hey, Buzz,
But don't you have to hold? Don't you have to hold
Yeah.
a certain amount?
yes,
You
hold
do.
it back.
So
Mhm.
so in other words, it's not just a form that
Correct.
you're doing. It's like you
Hold
you're
back.
shaking your head.
Yep,
Is that true?
absolutely. It is true. Yeah.
So
it is
so
a
I
withholding.
can't just move out of the country and then have the IRS chase me
No.
because they're going to get their money.
They
We're
will
gonna
get their
withhold it.
money.
Another thing, I just on the same, we talk about lead generation and we were talking about yours. I heard Des Lynn's talk this past
Des is amazing.
about the reverse mortgage product, which I was like, wow, there is so much there. And I think like 1031, people don't know about it.
Oh, I know.
And it's APM retirement lending. Is that the
Yes.
official name?
American Pacific Mortgage Retirement Lending.
Yeah.
Des is amazing. Liz
Anderson.
we need to get Liz
Yeah,
on the
she's-
show
She's amazing. yeah.
again.
She's very
Yeah.
good.
She's amazing. But go ahead with yours.
Yeah, I was going to say if you do have a property or your parents have a property with equity, you should really sit down with Liz Anderson or Des or whoever.
April, she's amazing too.
Yeah, and just research that product because it is such an amazing vehicle to help your kids out. It's not what people think. I think it
No.
has a bad reputation and it really isn't.
It-
So I
it-
wanted to do
it
that
is
plug.
it is one of the most misunderstood
Yes.
products out there. Now, I just so happen to qualify for a reverse mortgage at my age.
Oh,
You
At
have to
30?
be over 32
wow.
to do a reverse mortgage.
Nice.
But it is part of my retirement planning.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling
I'm
you.
in the
Well, and it's
business,
true.
and I say this because if you're listening, I'm in the business. I know how these mortgages work, and I feel that it's one of the best opportunities.
Well, I think Julie's right that it has a negative connotation. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember
Oh,
when my
absolutely.
grandparents were going to do a reverse mortgage, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. But again, not knowing enough about it.
it's an amazing tool, and and unfortunately, I'm watching the clock, and this is the key hour. We usually talk about a tip of the week for
Yes.
social media, and
Okay.
so do you have something for us today before we start trying to get out of here?
Yeah, the tip for today is creating a curiosity gap right at the beginning of your video. And that can be as easy as like spinning your phone to adjust your face instead of just a perfect picture of your face. We spin the phone, we go in sideways, we like walk somewhere. Like there's the disruption right out of the gate of your video because you have 2 seconds to grab their attention before they scroll past you. So my tip of the day is create a curiosity gap right in the beginning of your video.
I like it.
Okay, I think you can do this,
So
Buzz.
so we use that. And Jocelyn, I wish you could talk. We did a Two Mortgage Guys a couple of weeks ago, and we changed it up to where we said something different right up front.
Perfect.
So I don't know if it got more views.
It just has to, like, a person's brain is trying to figure out what's wrong with this. So it has to be something that doesn't fit, like a car,
like
and
a guy like me sitting between two beautiful women.
like that.
There you go.
Like
Yeah.
that.
You've got everybody's
They're
attention
going,
now.
What the
Wow,
hell?
What is going
happening?
on?
Perfect
guy-
curiosity cat buzz. Nailed it.
So, now, Kara, this is it. We're actually really wanting you to, come in and on an ongoing basis.
Thank
we
you.
love having you here.
Yes.
Thank you.
And so we're gonna have to figure out something, a tip.
Oh, I need
you need
something.
Maybe it's
I
an
need a
IRS thing. I don't know. You said
Ooh.
you're with the IRS.
Or a tip
tracking
for
people.
lenders and real estate professionals that can
Oh,
help them
yes.
drum up more business. That would be a great
Yeah.
tip.
So
Absolutely.
we need to
Yeah.
we
Okay.
need to figure out.
Okay.
So one of the things that I do is try to do a market wrap, and this week is tough. We're going to end the week with higher interest rates than what we started. There's been some ups and downs this week. The thing that we're dealing with here is just all of the instability. Now we're talking about the national debt has eclipsed 40 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's in the back of everybody's mind, and that debt is basically borrowed debt. In other words, it's a liability, but there's investors all over the world that are also making money off of it. But so we have the debt, we have the ongoing just crap with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, something's going to have to give. The nice thing is that oil originally went up to about $125 a barrel, and it's come back down, and it's been in the 85 to back down to 79. At one point it got back down into the 60s when it looked like we had a deal going. So oil prices will come down just like that. I mean, overnight when we figure this all out. And they are going to figure it out, whether they just completely stop using the straight or not. But so we have that, we have inflation, we have employment numbers. There's just so much instability that today, before I came in, there was we used a service, and it was alert to lock because the market had fallen off today in such a way. So we're in the week worse. You said something earlier. I believe that we've gotten into this range that the market wants to stay in.
Mm-hmm.
It goes up and you think, oh, it looks like it's going to break out. And then it gets pushed back down, and it goes back down, here, and it gets supported. And it's been in this range for a while. We think we're going to get, oh no. And so a lot of people are starting to say, you know what? Get used to it. This is where we're going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to get better. It is what it is. When I first got into the business, we were coming out of 16 and 17% interest rates. Now everybody will say, yeah, but the homes were so much cheaper. Yeah, but everybody made so much less money.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
it is what it is.
I would say that the real estate industry in general, it's always a wave, right? We're always up and down, but that wave is always sort of going up. You're right. Houses are more expensive than they are now, and than they were, years and years ago. But we're always going up. So when is a good time to buy or to sell? Now. Do it now. What are you waiting for? Even though we're saying it's not a great market, or things are slow, or whatever it might be, interest rates are terrible, it's still a good time to be in real estate and do something, because if you wait 5 years, prices are going to go up.
Yeah, even if the interest rates were down, the additional cost is going to outrun the savings that you had. So
we just deal with what we have on a daily basis, and I say, you can jump
there's
in.
not a single investor out there that's done this over the years, including myself, bought homes, have homes. There's not a single investor that doesn't say, man, I wish that I'd have bought 3 homes that year instead of just one.
Exactly.
Because now 20 years later, I'm going, man, that was nothing.
It's
that
true.
was nothing.
It's so true.
And so it's going to be that way forever. So, well, guys, let's do this. key thing to take away today? What's on your mind? Key things.
In Dolly's memory, be you,
Oh.
own yourself, and grasp the future, and be the best you can be today. That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I don't know if I have anything to compete with that. That was touching. That was so good. Well, I will say, as far as our marketing and talking about how to get listings, I would say use 1031 exchange as an avenue for that. Call me, talk to Julie. We've got some ideas on how to get more listings. So
Absolutely.
agents, let us know what you need. We're ready to help.
You know, the key thing that I would tell people from today is that if you really want to have a great time, you have to have two beautiful friends like this to be able to hang out with and do
It helps.
and do a podcast. It makes you look so good. Look at me on the camera.
Look at you.
And I love what you said about Dolly, and I think that people in every level of society could learn from
Absolutely.
just how she lived her life. And you don't have to be a star, but you know, having that kind of character and living your life that way, amazing. That's why she's so loved, and she will be that way
She will
forever.
always be
and
loved.
What's amazing, that she did a song that she put into a locker, and it won't be unlocked until what year?
Till her 100-year anniversary.
So that's like 20 more years.
20 more years.
So
I just heard that. I'm
great.
so excited.
I mean, that's going to be kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So let's all say, I want to be
know.
here.
I know. I was thinking that.
I
I
want
hope
to be here
I'm
in
here.
20 years to just
You know
to
what,
see
though?
what that song's
If
like.
I'm not, though, I'm going to be sitting right next to her. So I'm just going to
That's
ask
true.
her to sing
I like
it.
that. That's
Okay.
there's
Either
a
way,
key,
I'm gonna hear
There's
it.
a key takeaway. Guys, in the description here, on our caption or whatever you call it, we'll have Kara's phone number.
Yes, please.
That you can get in touch with, as well as Julie. And catch us on all the platforms. We appreciate you being here for us, and we'll see you next week. So
Absolutely.
stay safe. See ya.